I had dinner with 3 sheikhs the other night. They made me an honorary Muslim, which is cool, because now I can disregard the rules of engagement and blow up schools with little children in them. We share poetry with each other, because that's what you do with one another in Bedouin society, so I shared a little Shakespeare with them. The quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth from the heavens to the place beneath. So. Cowards die many times before their death. The valiant never tasted death but once. Thoughts, speculative. Their unsure hopes relate, but certain issues strokes must arbitrate, towards which advance the war. They insisted on bringing tea and dinner to every one of my Marines. They said that someone would have to hurt him and his whole family before he'd ever let them lay a finger on one of us. Okay, I said. If we want them to trust us, we better show a little trust in them too, right? You can't rush a sunrise. But I don't think CNN covers the daily life of a grunt. And if it bleeds, it leads right in the fucking press. No, if you want casualties and body counts, or intelligence-sensitive information that'll lead to the death and injury of more of my Marines, watch CNN. Subscribe to Time Magazine. They're good at that stuff. You'll be knee-deep in the blood of American military, brimming with intelligence-sensitive information. I'm just going to keep it real and call it like I see it, right? We'll just call this Operation Keeping It Real. Enough of that glory-burdened jargon that the higher-ups like to coin, like Operation Enduring Flame of Eternal Justice for all equally created persons. Nonsense. Again, consult CNN for that. The Marines. You know, I got a couple combat replacements the other day to fill in some of the gaps left by the mortars early on. One of them's a private. Well, he was a lance corporal, but drunk driving will do that to you. Anyway, he's one of my portlier Marines. He's got a history of racism and fighting, and he calls Bila Battery home. I've seen this Marine with a huge, with a ginormous wad of chew hanging out of his mouth. One time I saw him watching a movie, had a wad of chew, a dip, and a cigarette all at the same time. That's one of the talents of America's finest right there. At some point, that chew must have got a little tiresome because he let it hang out of his mouth part way for a few minutes. And he brought it back in and just kept on chewing and spitting it back into a bottle. At this point, my platoon sergeant leans over to me, tells me that he used to be an actor. He even went to the University of Alabama to study acting. At some point, he found God and joined the Marines like we all do, but later on, I asked him about it. Yes, sir, good to go. He fully intends to be a Shakespearean actor when he gets out. He's even been cast at the Alabama Shakespeare Festival. Well, now he carries a squad automatic weapon in 3rd Squad. That's keeping it real. And you can't see that on CNN. They say if anything happens, it'll happen in August. It's September, almost October. When are we going in? This city looms and waits with insurgents. Artilleries and bombs drop on it with flashes on the horizon. And the bad guys come out, they attack, and they go back in with impunity, while we patrol the same streets, the same towns, searching the same houses. And more the Marines resemble caged dogs, pacing back and forth, snapping and biting, needing to break free and stomp and gnarl on everything in its path, and then roll over and have her belly rubs. Not to mention chasing all the lady dogs that wait for it back home. Something's got to give. And the schools in Shahabi, they're never in session. There's kids fucking everywhere. You're driving down the street, and kids come at you from the fields and the canals and the corner stoops with their thumbs in the air, asking for pencils. Mister, mister, Vito, Vito, mister, Vito, ah! And they drag themselves down to the ground and wrestle like kids all over the world do. But high school kids, with nothing to do, they're dangerous. See, they can be bought off by a black Mercedes and a nickel-plated AK-47. I saw these two high school kids listening to some fat man's propaganda. Kill Americans. They are not like us. Your father is not in work. You are not in school. Your cousin is dead because the infidels have come and raped your teachers and destroyed their homes. This is our country, our religion, our destiny. America bad, Fallujah good. I met with the principal of a girls' school in Shahabi. Well, she lives in Fallujah, but she works in Shahabi. The teacher, she explained, couldn't risk possibly arriving at shallow graves to educate someone else's children. She wanted to know when the Americans were going to come back in to fight the bad guys out so her teachers could go back to work. I couldn't help her. As much as I wanted to, as much as I wanted to go back in, I wanted my Marines to be safe, not to die in the fight to free her teachers. Your people need to be brave. Stand up and take your city back. It's times like these that matter. The children of Iraq must be educated if this country is going to get anywhere beyond conflict. The empty minds are easy to fill with a black Mercedes and an AK-47. And without critical thinking, the ignorant will believe what they're told. America bad, Fallujah good. And poverty and ignorance will cycle out of control. But you hold the reins. You have the ability to bring your teachers out of fear and back to work. See, the ultimate bitch slap to the insurgents would be to continue life as it is and teach the children of Shahabi. Teach the children if it costs you your life, because it might cost me mine. Fallujah good. Fallujah good my ass. Fallujah bad. Fallujah very bad.